Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today I'm hanging out with Laura. Laura's got a really cool 1975 Shasta travel trailer that she's going to give us a tour of. So join us.
Hey Patrick, really glad you're here and appreciate you coming to take a look at my Queens Drive, a 1975 Shasta travel trailer. One of my favorite things is how this clicks right in. So in the front we have a banquette with a panoramic view, which I absolutely love. So much light in here, and it folds down to a bed. Coming in, we've got a wet bath, fully functional. Coming further, we come to storage, refrigerator, and a full-size bed, again with a panoramic view looking out to the gardens, and a great galley kitchen. Usually I have myself a little espresso machine in here, sink, all pull-out drawers. Actually great storage for a small trailer. It's about 3,400 pounds. And I have absolutely loved her. She's called the Queens Drive. As you see, I have a little street sign in here from the last house that I lived in. And this is my queen, my she shed, my office. Let me tell you why I got her and what it was like getting her. Pandemic started, and like everybody, I was suddenly working totally at home, kids at home. I also had a sick family member that I was really worried about, and I was trying to figure out, what do I need to do if I have to house somebody else, or what do I need to do if I need to go stay with someone who's sick? How do I deal with my work life? So I started looking at travel trailers like many people did. And I actually ended up buying this sight unseen from a wonderful man who had gotten it out of the woods and had brought the systems back. He delivered it, and to my sort of shock, it was completely yellow. In fact, the reason I have all these yellow accents, it was this color, the entirety of the inside. And some of the cushions were red and yellow and green. And that was really not conducive to what I was looking for, which was calm. So here's what I did to it. I put in all these curtains. I went for like fabrics that were very neutral and calm. But over the years, I had acquired all kinds of fabric and material that I loved, like this beautiful dandelion fabric and this sort of velvet fabric and some of the other stuff that you'll see here. And so I began to put this together to become my she shed, my office, a place that I could actually just come and really breathe and get through the stress of everything that was going on. So I made all these cushions and I painted everything. Now, people who love the original probably would wish that I hadn't done this. But choosing all of these sort of ocean soft colors, getting all these like textiles, and really making it like something where every single thing in the place means something to me, has created a place that even friends and family come, and we sit here and have wine and open up all the windows and look out at the gardens. So it's really been a fabulous place for everybody in my life. And then there's all these like goofy stuff, like this is a feed bag that somebody brought me from the Midwest, and I sewed this into a pillow, and I found this gal, because if you have an RV, you have to worry about mice. So you have to do things to make sure that they don't come in. So you put dryer sheets and stuff like that around. Well, I found her in a Goodwill, and it turned out that she had like a plastic bowl inside of her. So I poked holes in it, filled it with dryer tablets. She smells really good. And she's also with my theme of the Queens Drive. So there's all kinds of little things like that in here that make it special to me. But there's also a lot of practical stuff. This folds down. Under here, we've got storage and a brand new camper grill. We've got storage under this one as well. And even this area over here, where I like to keep battery operated candles. This is all absolutely open storage too. By the way, the thermostat for the furnace is over here, original. This, a lot of people have asked me about this. Again, it's not in keeping with the way people who want to have things original would be, but I just got decals and then polyed this. Again, to have this sort of quiet, floral, girly vibe. We've got storage up here for all kinds of things, both sides. And I've kept the original yellow in there because I do like the little pop of yellow against the turquoise and the ocean colors that I've selected. In here we've got, I love this, the original wet bath. And if you look up, there's the vent, there's a light, there's the fabulous original medicine cabinet. Over here we've got great storage, and these shelves come out. I actually have a stand-alone AC that fits right in this space flush. We've got the original refrigerator, which is really cool, latches, so when you're traveling it stays closed. Good for beer, wine. The front of the fridge is a chalkboard with one of my favorite mottos: live like it's your birthday. Don't hurt anybody, but every day get up and remember it could be your last, so live like it's your birthday. Partly why I got this Queen's Drive. Below the fridge is the original furnace. And across from the fridge is, again, tons of storage. This is all storage, fabulous drawers. We have a pull-out addition to the countertop, an oven, stove, microwave. And I took the doors off here because I like to have like vintage, cool housewares in there. Now over here is a full-size bed, and I've got lots of pillows, again, all in this sort of Queen's Drive theme. Some of them I've made, the bolsters and some of the back headboard pillows. I put up a little curtain so that can close if somebody's sleeping here. I've only slept in here a few times because I do use it as a kind of an office hangout space. So, and I know, you know, a grown-up shouldn't have dolls, but all of these have stories, and I have a third one up there, Mama Do You Love Me, that my mom gave me. This little gal was a doll my mom gave me called Travel Doll, which I also would give my kids if I had to travel for work. My children's Boo Boo Bear. And this little guy, who I found on Facebook, that somebody made him, and she was posting that her mother was making her take it back, but she didn't want it anymore, and she was going to be putting it out in the trash. Did anybody want it? And so I ran right over and got him and then sewed him up and fixed him. Who doesn't love a sock monkey? So, and this is from the old place that I used to live, Queen's Drive, and what this Shasta trailer is named after, my Queen's Drive. So like a lot of people during the pandemic, thinking that they needed an additional living space, I went into this without knowing anything, and there's a lot of things that I learned. One of the things that I learned, for example, is that you can't just clear out everything from a trailer because you will lose its structural integrity, and unless it's going to stay put, you're going to be in trouble trying to travel with it. Now, the owner that I got it from did take out the original bunk that was in here, but he very smartly left this shelf, which not only is wonderful decoratively and for usage, but it maintains the structural integrity, which is really important in these old trailers. And I also absolutely love it, but taking it out did make this a more usable space for the kind of usage that we were doing, since I wasn't trying to camp and move a lot of people or children. Below this, there's a lot of storage, but also one of the things that's fabulous is that even though there's a mattress here, this is actually set up to fold back. So if you used it with a futon mattress, you could turn this into a couch, and then there's shelving on both sides. I haven't needed to do that because I do like the idea. I come in here with my youngest child, we lay here, we read in the afternoon. So it works for me to be kind of like a day bed, but it could turn into a couch as well. This is also very tall, which was great. I have a very tall husband, so we've got a lot of ceiling space in here. And if you look up, we've got some of the original lights, which are really awesome. I love these old glass. We've got an opening up vent here, which, by the way, needs a new seal, but it is a great for ventilation. Over here, we've got more of the original lights. We've got a sink has the owner I got it from put in a new faucet. And this is just stick-on backsplash, which is easy to do. The painting that I did, now it's time-consuming and you're working in a small space, but anybody could do what I did. Now here's a little trick for you. Over here, this had original like a kind of brittle plexiglass in it that was from the period, and it was broken. I actually have the original pieces down here, but what I did was find, again, at a Goodwill, these placemats, which I knew I was going to want to use as a little bit of extra protection, and I just cut one and fit it into the space. Super simple. Anybody could do what I did in here. Find old fabrics, you have a sewing machine, or even by hand sewing covers for old cushions, and make it a space that you feel like you can relax and get away from stress in. One of the things I really love about the old trailers is the jalousie windows. Now, maybe not everybody likes them, but in the summer, we open these up and we get tons of airflow from back to front, and there's so much light in here that it's just a really peaceful, fabulous place. We sit in here sometimes and have a glass of wine, and it's like having an enclosed porch. But we get away from the teenagers. You want to go outside? We'll take a look around. So I love this little feature. When you're inside, you open this up and you have your handle to the outdoor. And one of the things that's kind of cool I showed you earlier was that clips in. And then the door you can have the screen door, which right now, there we go. You can sit in here with this door open, and it again gives you a lot of airflow. So here we have a handle, and this is a light switch, which actually the light is out and needs to be replaced. But that's an outdoor light. There's also an outdoor light up top, and that switch is right here. So that's kind of cool. There are what are they called? Levels? So there are little levels so that when you're putting in your jacks, you can make sure that it is completely level, and that is one on sort of each side. I bought an extra step because this is slightly higher than maybe everybody would be comfortable with, so that you can step into it. It will need a paint job, and I frankly was going to keep the exact same colors on the outside because I have used that yellow as the accent on the inside, and that's original, so I would definitely want to keep that. And I was going to tackle that myself, and if I keep her, I will be tackling that myself. We created this carport to kind of protect her over the winter. A lot of people will cover their RVs completely if they don't have a garage to put them in, but I wanted to use it all winter long as my office. So this meant that we had coverage and it was protected, but I could still go in and out of it and still have all the light that I wanted, even in the winter time. Up here are her tanks and her tongue. They're in great shape. Now, when we bought her, even though I said sight unseen, I do have a partner who knows what he's looking for in terms of systems and in terms of structural issues. We actually asked the owner to do a video walkthrough with us, including looking underneath her at the trailer, at the axles, at the bearings, making sure the tires were in good shape, all of that stuff. And that is really important. If you're going to actually travel with a trailer, you have to know that the structural integrity is there and that she's roadworthy. She is roadworthy. She's been, in the last 8 months, about 500 miles. But I actually don't camp in her. One of the things I had to learn, there were so many things I had to learn and I'm still learning, is that you don't keep your travel trailer on grass. Wheels need to be off of the grass. And so we actually did create this about 6-inch bed with gravel for her. And as I said, my husband created this carport basically out of a carport that you could buy off Amazon for like $400. But then he switched out the poles for taller poles and created this grid on the bottom, and we're able to just move it back and forth over the top of her when she needs protection. Over here is her electric. We've got the sewage lines are over here. In the back, there's a tiny little storage area that I also have the key for, and that's like where hoses and electric wires and things like extra whatever we call these things are. We had thought about putting a mini split in, and if we did, that would probably have gone here. But I ended up opting for, I mostly didn't need it. I just used fans that I plugged in, but I do have a standing AC that goes flush in a cabinet rather than having to do something on the outside and adding weight. I also love that she has her original fins, which is a hallmark of the Shastas.
Laura, thank you very much for taking the time today to give us a tour of your beautiful creation. Can you give our viewers any tips if they're looking to buy a travel trailer like this and do something similar?
You know, there's this big movement on tiny homes. And in essence, what I did was a tiny home on wheels, which is way less expensive than doing the whole tiny home trend. But you want to be sort of finding half of the RV approach and half of the tiny home approach. So if you're looking for a trailer, you want to make sure that it's still got its structural integrity. You want to, for example, know whether or not a smoker has used it. I did look at a trailer in person, and no offense to smokers, and if you're a smoker, maybe it wouldn't be an issue, but this had so much damage from smoke over time that the remediation for that was going to be more than I could handle. If you get your trailer, you've got to determine, you know, what is it you want in it. I found the idea of having a lot of windows that opened, and a tall ceiling more important than some things you would find in a more modern trailer. I really wanted the vintage look. I wanted the vibe of the vintage, but then I wanted to make it my own. And figuring out what it is you really want and then doing it. And if I could do this, you know, if I could do these paint jobs, you could do this paint job. It's really about trying to figure out what you want and then doing it in a way that is very sustainable.
I can appreciate all the light that's in here. Selling Airstreams for as long as I have. Airstreams have front and rear wraparound windows on a lot of their models, and it really allows a lot of light in. This is it. The front and rear wraparound windows on a trailer this size, all this light, it is absolutely beautiful.
So she is for sale because my plans have changed. The pandemic is coming to a close. I'm very ambivalent about selling her because even being out here now, I just love her. I've used her all winter long. But she is for sale if the next right owner comes along, and I would send her off with love.
I'll provide a link in the description so our viewers can click through and check out the ad. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I love it. We'll see you soon.
Bye. I think the biggest thing is deciding whether you want to keep things original or whether you're trying to do something that's really unique into yourself, and not to think of these as investments. They should be very personal. They should be what is going to make you happy. That's the whole concept of live like it's your birthday. So for me, it was, how do I make this something that I will feel really happy in? And I do. When I come in here, I feel happy. So that's what I would suggest that people do, and think practically about that. I wanted tall ceilings. I wanted a lot of windows. That's more important to me than the really modern ones. Don't have a lot of windows, but have really good AC. You got to figure out what your priorities are. For me, it was light, open, tall.